Hi, this is Ingrid Newkirk. I'm the president and founder of People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. And we're here doing FaceTime with Todd Wharton.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, welcome.
No, I don't need no menu. I don't need no menu. I know what I want. I want a double chicken sandwich with everything on it. Throw on some bacon. That sounds dope.
You got it.
Can I just get a veggie burger?
Hey, you're all set. He's an expert with no deer.
We'll be right back with Ingrid Newkirk. Welcome back to the show, everyone. So my guest tonight is the founder and president of PETA, which is the biggest animal rights organization on the planet. But you know what? Let's take a look at a clip.
Money's no excuse! For animal abuse! Move your head a wee bit this way, Ingrid, if you can.
Here we are at the White House, making our message loud and clear.
There's no excuse.
Please welcome to the show, Ingrid Newkirk.
I'm fine, Todd. How are you?
I'm great. First and foremost, as we spoke about offline, seriously, congratulations on pretty much an amazing career that you developed. You are pretty much spending your entire life not only to helping out humans, but really, really diving into a subject that I think people avoid because they're not humans, not realizing how important animals are. And you dedicated your life into protecting animals. So kudos to you for doing this pretty much since 1970, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yeah, thank you. But it's just I'm so grateful that I found what I want to do. A lot of people never find that. And I
Yeah.
sort of wandered into it, and it's just been a great privilege every single day to be able to do what I believe in.
Yeah, and your story is great. And the thing is, your story started out um, where you were in Maryland, and one of your neighbor's cats was left abandoned. You decided to take it to a shelter. And I know there wasn't a lot of detail in the story, but I have to assume that you just saw a lot of like bad things that were going on in shelters. You're like, hey, I have to I really need to step up and get in here because what did you see that made you decide this is what I want to do?
Well, I lived in a bubble, and I thought, here I am in the United States of America. An animal shelter must be this wonderful, lovely place where they care for them. And boy, was it an eye opener for me. The place was filthy. The people were curt. They were disrespectful of the animals. There's
Mhm.
somebody who actually pulled this Doberman by his neck, and it just made me
Oh,
feel sick. And I brought in these kittens. I thought that they would put them up for adoption,
mhm.
but they didn't. And I found them in the back when I went to look around the place. I was so horrified. I was studying actually for the brokerage exam at Ferris and Company in Washington, D.C.
Right.
And I mean, it didn't move me. It's not what I wanted to do. I was going to make money and travel the world. And I thought, I can't walk out of here. They had an opening for a kennel assistant,
Wow.
somebody to clean up after the dogs, and I applied for it.
Oh,
And they
really?
said, yeah, they said, you're overqualified. Instantly, I applied for it. They said, you're overqualified. And I've never understood what that means. You can be underqualified, but how can you be overqualified? It's just rubbish.
So,
So anyway,
wait.
talked
So,
to you.
so I got to interrupt. So let me get this straight. They told you were overqualified to pretty much scoop up animal crap. That's what I'm hearing.
Right.
So is there a course on how to take a shovel and dig into it?
Well, actually, there are. I have a PhD in cleaning up after animals now. And actually, there are tricks of the trade to how you do things efficiently and kindly. So I had a lot to learn.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I mean, I didn't know there was a study or a PhD to wipe out. I mean, damn, you know what? Maybe I should go to school because I don't think I clean after myself that too good either. So maybe I should get a course.
Oh, believe me, if anyone in my office, we're allowed to bring animals to work if they would be lonely at home, or as long as they're well behaved and they don't distract people. If one has an accident, then I say, let me take care of that. I know how to get that out of the rug.
Oh my God, that's crazy. And let me tell you something, just reading your biography, you really put a ton of effort into the passion that you found in your life. I mean, you were rated by Forbes one of the top 100 most powerful women pretty much on the planet. And that's not a fluke, right? This is something where you earn the respect from a lot of companies, like a bank in civil rights, where it's like, hey, Ingrid's coming to town, so we need to step up our game because this lady's about to shut us down. That's the respect you have from multi-billion-dollar companies, because they realize you weren't somebody doing it just for the media aspect and getting out there. You really took this life where, like, hey, animals don't have choices because they can't speak to us, but it doesn't mean they don't understand what pain is. They don't understand what being tested on. And until we could speak their language like a Dr. Doolittle, somebody like you stepped up to protect them, because at the end of the day, we all live on the same earth. And that's a really genuine selfless act that you did. So seriously, kudos to you for doing this.
Yeah, that's very nice of you. They'll probably never give me an award again because I've been after so many businesses for so long.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what's the point if you tell people what they already believe in, what they already know, there's no point. You have to keep pushing the envelope, challenging people to do better, to do more. And I've come a long way in what I've learned, and all my habits have changed as my eyes were opened. And I'd love to help other people do that. I wish someone had helped me earlier to see what happens to animals and how I was contributing to it with my consumer money.
Well, I'm kind of glad they didn't show you, because if they did, we don't know where you would be today. Because remember, I think the reason why you're so big now is because nobody did show you. You had to learn for yourself. And when you learn for yourself, that's when you dive into it deeper. It's like when we're in school, right? If somebody says, hey, read a book, right? How many people actually learn? But if they actually choose to pick up a book and read it, most likely they're going to learn it. So I think by you taking on that role on doing it yourself, I think this is the reason why you're here. Instead of somebody guiding you to it, right? There's a big difference. Now, speaking of roles, I mean, this is the 30th anniversary, I believe, of this book. So you revamped it. The book called Free the Animals, which is coming in and out. Which is a really great book based on a true story. I believe ex-police officer named Valerie at 24, where the department actually went into a laboratory and saw there were monkeys, and they took. And I think the cop, from what I was reading, was like, oh my God, what are they doing here? So this police officer took it upon herself to dedicate her life into doing the opposite. Like, she was breaking into places to get animals from safety. It's kind of an ironic story as a cop now that she's breaking in, but she's doing it to save people, and that's what her life was anyway, to save people, humans. Now she's doing it for animals. Tell me how you came about coming into this true reality story of Valerie, the police officer. I think it's great.
Well, every single story in the book, Free the Animals, is true. Every fact is true, except I had to change the names because in some states, believe it or not, even though this is 30 years ago, the statute hasn't run. It's run for all misdemeanors, and some are 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, but some statutes haven't run. So I had to mask their identities. But she's a real person, everybody is. And her father had been in law enforcement. She was very justice oriented. She wanted to always do right. And PETA had the case of the Silver Spring monkeys, Silver Spring, Maryland, a laboratory in a secret warehouse. And it's a real thing where they had 17 macaque monkeys. And this psychologist, who had no medical training, no veterinary training, would operate on the monkeys' backs. And he would sever the spines in their arms, stick them in a little converted refrigerator, electroshock them to force them to pick up raisins from a tray. So anyway, PETA took the evidence to the police in that county. They served a search warrant. It was the first one ever served in this country. And they removed all of the monkeys. But all the research community, all the brothers of animal experimenters all came together from across the nation, descended on the prosecutor and the police and said, you don't know what you're looking at. You're not scientists. They defended their fellow scientists. And they said, you've got to give the monkeys back. Valerie, as I call her, had come to know them, these monkeys. She'd seen her department had raided that place. And she had seen Billy with his fingers missing on both hands. She had seen Augustus just going back and forth with back pain. And she had really cared about them. And when she heard they were going back the next morning, a group of people who had also cared for the monkeys said to her, we need your help. We can't let this happen. They cannot go back and be killed there. They said, will you park your cruiser outside this place so that when we're moving the monkeys out into a van, people will think it's official. And she said, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm a police officer. And they said, you need it. She went home. She spoke to her partner. And he said, you have to decide. It's what's right or wrong. And that night she made the decision, and she did park her cruiser, and she crossed the line. And from then on, there was no turning back for her.
It's an incredible story. And I love the fact that you're bringing these stories out to light because it's a great read, to be honest with you. I mean, it's not just you out there doing it. There are thousands of people that are out there, may not have the passion that you have, because I mean, you're an incredible lady, but you're highlighting other people that are really trying to protect. And for somebody to give up, I think what their life meant to be, like in law enforcement, to go into something different, I mean, that's crazy. Sometimes you don't even realize what you want to do until like you meet that fork in the road, like a road not taken, and you realize, you know what, maybe this is not my path. Maybe I should be going this way. And I think that's what happened to you as well. You went from trying to be a stockbroker. Now you're the biggest animal rights person on the planet. I mean, that's a little different, right? You went from trying to make millionaires money to just wanting to make sure a dog has a place to go and be safe. Huge, genuine. Now, I do have to ask, because it's got to be a really hard road to you taking. You've met with a lot of animosity from a lot of people. Was there a point where, even though you were doing it for the right reasons, was there a point where you thought about, is this even worth it? Because like your brain was just going crazy, like, because we all get hate mail. I get hate messages all the time.
Do you?
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know people, and I get stuff like people just saying things, and I laugh about it because it's like, I don't even know you, bro. Like, and you're saying things to me not knowing who I am, just seeing who I am on TV. But it's like, I just laugh it off because it's like, if they take that much time to throw you a bad message, how happy are they in their lives? And
Yeah.
with you, I don't think
Well,
people stop and think, what's an animal feel? And I think that's what you do every single day. You're trying to think for them. Am I correct on that?
yeah. I mean, I've had real threats. I've had this psychopath who's been after me, who's been arrested twice, who's come to the office with a big gun and a lot of ammunition. That's frightening because you feel stalked. You know,
Right.
he wants to get you. He has, he's not well. And so he receives messages from car license plates and God knows what. And you feel stalked. So you understand what animals must feel, the deer out there in the woods when someone's after them. They have to always be looking over their shoulder. But as far as being deeply hated, which apparently I am, and in the HBO special about me and PETA called I Am an Animal, they actually read some of the hate mail. And they couldn't read some of it because it's so obscene. And I
Right.
think, I don't know you. As you said, I don't even know you. You don't know me. Why are you writing to me, sending pictures of my face with the eyes cut out? But worse things happen is that
Right.
people send, and it doesn't bother me anymore. I just feel there are bad people in the world who don't get it, who aren't kind, who have no mirror neuron of empathy. We're stuck with them.
Right.
Some will change, some won't. There are psychotic people out there, serial killers. What can you do? But people do send little hamster hearts to us in the mail. They leave a deer corpse on the step. And for those people, I think if I could find you, I would arrest you.
Right.
And I really would.
Right.
Because you've hurt others in order to try to hurt me. And it doesn't hurt me, but you've hurt those others, and you have no business doing that.
Yeah. And I'm glad you answered that because it's just one of those subjects. I think it's just should never happen, to be honest with you, like all the other things from racism and everything else. This falls into bullying and everything else. And now with social media, it's like everybody and their mom has a voice. And I don't think people realize how far this can hurt somebody when you don't even know the person. Because at the end of the day, when you get off this thing, you could be the best mom in the world. You could be the best daughter in the world. You could be somebody right when you get off here. You have two kids over to your right that you're about to go out and take them to get ice cream, right? And it's like, you guys forget about that. Like, this is what you dedicated a life to, plus she's a human being,
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, it's anti-human. I mean, it's funny when you look at it. When I was a cruelty investigative officer, I would talk to people in child protective services. Right. We had a great bond because usually if you found the child in the home was being abused, the animals were. If the animals were, the child was. It's all one thing. And in this hate mail that I get, it's often very sexual, it's sexist, it's often there are racist things in it. And anything they can put together showing that there's just a lack of understanding, kindness, and decency. And a lot of them are from hunters. Hunters, Todd, will actually spell out, can I say the F word on this show?
Yeah, I've had a lot of people do that.
All right, well, they'll say, fuck PETA, and they'll spell it out in rabbit bodies or in coyote bodies. And I've got photographs that they send me to say, here we are, we've just killed all these animals. And you think, you're proud of that? This is the kind of human being you want your children to see as their dad or their mother, or this is not about that.
No, but you want to know something? I mean, I think a crazy funny thing would be like, there's that whole saying about when people go out hunting for game, for fun, not for food. Because I mean, every animal in the world, unfortunately, when we were raised, it was supposed to be a food chain, right? Now it's not even about food anymore. It's about everything. And I thought it'd be kind of funny if a human being walked into a cave and he saw his cousin's heads hanging on the cave, and then you see the lions just come out, just like, it's like, well, how would we react on if the opposite? And for me, I grew up, I'll be honest with you, I grew up on meat. I mean, I'm Italian, so it's kind of like in our blood. no pun intended.
I did too. I did too.
But I get a lot of things like animal cruelty when it comes to meat because it's how they started, how they cut the cow, because it's indecent what they do. It's not like they put them to sleep. They're like a lot of them, they do it while they're still alive. It's like, but that's pretty much beheading. And didn't we get all grossed out when we just saw somebody like years ago be trapped in another country and they showed it live on TV? So what's the difference between a human being getting that done to them and a cow? The difference is if they're not human beings, unfortunately, people don't give a crap because they don't realize that a cow, even though it can't speak, it still goes through pain just like we do. But that's just the normal bull crap that humans put. Humans mock what they don't understand, and humans don't like to get involved with things that has nothing to do with them. That's just human nature. It's sad, but then you get people like you that realize, no, you know what? What if the lion was the king of the world and we were subjected to that? We'd be going through the same thing. And hopefully there's a lion out there that would protect people like me and Ingrid and step up to the plate.
Although I wish gorillas led the planet too, because they're so big, they're so strong, and if they don't like something or someone, they beat their chests. But they don't attack, they don't shoot you, they don't stab you, they don't send you poison pen letters. But the man who was beheaded, that I think you were thinking of, was Daniel Pearl, the reporter. And Daniel Pearl was a wonderful supporter. He was a great animal person. He cared. Right. He was vegetarian and the whole 9 yards. Yeah.
And I wanted to bring that up in this because I want people to realize, because sometimes if you can picture something in your head, it makes you think, right? Just like I said, gorillas pound. The only time I pounded when I was a kid is when I was on food because I was a fat kid. So that's what I did. Tell me about Joaquin Phoenix. I believe he's a pretty good supporter of PETA, and he's involved in some of the things you do. Tell me about that relationship that you have with Joaquin, because that's like a Hollywood icon right there.
Oh, he is. I mean, remember when he got his Oscar and went up to the podium, he talked about the mother cow who loves her baby, and her baby is taken away so that we can steal the milk to put cheese on our pizza. And he asked people, think about it. It's not just cheese doesn't grow on trees.
Right.
Is that think about her. Years ago, and I've read a lot of things from the Civil War and before the Civil War, Sojourner Truth, all the fight for equal rights and so on. And white people used to say, and believe it, that Black men were so stoic, they didn't feel pain the way white men do. And they would say that Black mothers didn't feel maternal love the way white women do, and that was why it was okay to sell their children into slavery. And I think, times change, thank God, and we evolve somewhat. But today, what Joaquin said is a wake-up call, is that don't think a mother cow is a table. She's an emotional being who has given birth, and nature has imbued her with this affection for what she has just given birth to. And the calf loves his mother too. And so Joaquin took that time, bless his heart, to stand up there and just, people mocked him. But he said, I'm going to do it. And he did. And he's appeared in commercials for us, free, of course, donated his time so he could pretend to drown and show what a fish goes through when you pull them out of the water. He's got vegan suits he wears, and we had him in a sanctuary surrounded by these fabulous sheep, and he was petting them, and he's saying, I'm not going to steal your wool from you. I mean, he's just a decent chap.
Yeah, he seems like it. And the unfortunate thing about the world is you can be the greatest person in the world, especially if you're like a politician. But once you do something that has relevance, half the world is not going to like what you say. That's just the way it is. I'm sure there are people out there that hate Santa Claus, kids. Oh, I didn't like him. He didn't get me the skateboard. Well, sorry. I mean, no offense, but you didn't know it was your dad, but he couldn't afford it. Doesn't mean he's not a good person. And that's unfortunately the thing. And I like the fact that Joaquin got out there, because one thing I do know, celebrities have a lot more power than politicians or anybody could think of on earth because they're looked up to as superheroes. That's why the Avengers are the biggest rock stars on the planet, because kids and adults feel anything is possible. When you meet people like this, they're on a different, that's why they call, the golden screen and the silver, not golden, silver screen.
Full screen, yeah.
Right. So I admire when people like him get up on that podium and do speak. Some people don't like it, but you know what? He rocked it out. That's his 5 minutes of fame. If he wants to give back, not just to the directors and his family, but thanking me for the award, and wants to use that time to talk about what he cares about, let him do it.
Yeah, and of course, you raise him because he has optioned the rights to free the animals, and we hope to see it made into a film. But you're right, because I can say something and a few people might pay attention, but Pamela Anderson says something, everybody turns their head. It's like the car wreck, you can't help but look. You may like her or not like her, and she has the biggest heart in the world. I mean, she's just very, very kind, and she'll do anything for animals too. Those two, Joaquin and Pam, were separated at birth or something. I don't know.
Probably, yeah. And what?
We're just beholden to so many stars who will take their time, will use their voice. And look at Kim Kardashian. When she heard from us, she used to wear fur all the time.
Yeah.
And then we said, hey, Kim, this is how the animals are trapped, caged, they go crazy in the fur farms, et cetera, et cetera. Right. She said, okay, fine. She threw out all her furs. She had all the coats she liked that were made out of faux fur. And everybody in the world went, oh, well, if Kim Kardashian can do it. So thank you. Yeah, we'll take it.
No, and it's great. And let me tell you something. I just started being connected with her. I think it's a wonderful thing that Fran Drescher is the president of SAG, because Fran is a very outspoken woman with women empowerment and everything else. So I think I'm loving the fact that more and more people are coming out, not just for animals, but in general, starting to really speak their minds and realize that they do have power. And if you can use it, but don't use it to get a 20% write-off, because we know a lot of people do that, right? But really use the power and dedicate yourself to that, like a Meryl Streep or somebody else. Like really speak out, because your words sometimes, as intelligent as you are, may ring volumes amongst people around the world to make them realize, like, oh my God, because for somebody like me, like I said, I grew up eating meat. Now I am going towards more chicken, even though it's still meat. I'm starting not to do red.
Stop that this minute.
That's what I'm saying. I'm slowly
coming
moving.
after you. Tomorrow I'm going to send you a package of soy chicken and other kinds of things, and you'll love it. The taste is still there, but no animal. Imagine if a chicken were a dog. You wouldn't eat that. So,
no, I'm trying, I swear.
And they're lovely. Todd, a chicken has personality. People don't realize that.
Exactly.
They have a dog or a cat, they understand. I've had rescued chickens. They bend over, you can see up their bloomers. They have the dearest things. Some of the roosters who look after them are full of themselves. Some chickens are shy, some are outgoing, some gossip. And they're just great. And each one is deeply afraid when they go to the knife. So don't you do that.
I'm sorry. That's what I'm saying. I'm moving. I'm trying. Like, I just actually hung out with somebody who's a vegan. And actually had a good food. Like, it was great. And it's like, yeah, this is really good. But, oh, man, I don't think I can go to my family dinners anymore. I'm gonna walk
you have to convert your family. But do you know, 1 week at Whole Foods, they by mistake made the chicken salad out of, I think it was Gardein chicken, which is a soy chicken. And they made this chicken salad and they had it there and they were selling it, and nobody realized it was Gardein chicken instead of flesh.
Oh my God.
It's easy. It's easy. You just make the decision. We have free vegan starter kits. We will send anyone free junk food vegan picnic baskets, whatever you want. We've got it.
Oh my God. I got to tell you something.
You're in trouble, Todd. You're in trouble.
I'm really, well, first of all, you also have an HBO documentary that's going to be on right now. It's I Am an Animal, which is, I think it's a great title because I think people forget that humans are animals.
Yes.
This is airing right now, or is it coming out soon? Because I didn't get a date on that.
It's been out. It's on demand now on
It is. That's
HBO.
what I
I am
thought.
an animal. It's been out.
Okay. And where can people find the book, Free the Animals, if they want to download it and purchase it for their own savings? Because I think it's an important book for people to read.
It's also an audiobook. You can get it on Amazon, of course, but PETA.org in our shopping mall, we have it. And on PETA.org, you can also watch about a 20-minute video. The book has photographs in it. The video has actual footage from the raids that took place 30 years ago, and they are so compelling.
Right.
People are writing to me to say, I saw that footage, I couldn't believe it.
Oh my God. Yeah, and I definitely want to see it because when I saw that, I didn't see a date, but I'm very intrigued by it because I love these documentary films because unfortunately, there are people that read, there are a lot of people that read out there, but a lot of millennials don't read anymore, right? Because social media has taken over. So I think it's great you have a documentary because I think people can learn so much from what you're doing. And if you can at least change one person's life into a different way, that's part of your life's goal, is to at least get one person to be like, you know what? Ingrid's got a point. I'm going to move. I mean, you took one of the most powerful reality women in the world and she dumped all her stuff and now she's doing something different. It's that one change that can make a difference for millions of animals, if I'm not mistaken, right? So
yeah, and it's like tentacles.
great.
People say to me, oh, nobody listens to me. I tell them about this. And I think you don't know, because advertising people say you have to hear a message about 7 times before it registers. So you might be the third time they've heard it. They may hear it on the radio, read something in the paper, someone else discusses it with them. You might be the first, you might be the 7th. So you don't know how much influence you have, and you may not see that person for a while. Later,
Right.
they'll change. I've had an NRA spokesperson who used to tease me relentlessly. He would only meet with me on a dog project. He loved dog projects at the Steak and Egg Kitchen. That is the only place he would agree to meet with me. And when he passed away, by that time, he was totally vegan and had raised his son vegan. So I thought, if you can do it, Mike, then anyone can do it. So you never give up hope,
Never give up. And I think that is your whole life, is that you never gave up. And if the animals could talk and you could be Dr. Dolittle for one day, I think they would all turn around and thank you. And be like, listen, if it wasn't for you, my brother would not be alive today. And congratulations.
That's very kind. Very
Yeah,
kind.
I mean,
I am so dependent on so many people. I mean, we've got millions of members, thank God, who care. And if each one did one little thing, then that makes a tremendous difference. So I'm just a catalyst to say, come on in here. We'll give you ideas of what you can do. And I'm grateful to everybody who does something.
Yep. Well, you have a lot of followers, and keep doing what you're doing because I think the world needs more people like you, and that's why you stand out, because they're rare and far between. And as long as you keep doing what you're doing, whether people like it or not, at the end of the day, you will be respected, you will be admired, and a lot of people are going to look up to you, and you are making a difference in the world, whether people know it or not. And that's why you're on this show, because it's the importance of people knowing about you and making them realize, whether they agree or not, that there are important people out there doing things that you don't even know about. Because just because you mock what you don't understand doesn't mean what some people are doing is not important for the world. And you're the example of that. So congratulations on it all. I think it's great.
That's very nice. But one thing I think is when you tell people something and they object or they're argumentative or defensive, it's a gift, because they're telling you what they're thinking. They're telling you the one remaining barrier to accepting what you're saying. So when people say, oh, I don't like it because somebody told, let them tell you what they think, why they object, to what they think is wrong with what you're saying. And that gives you the platform to understand at what level you need to talk to them, whether it's the environment or it's their health or whatever they think. They need meat in order to be strong. Some cockamamie rubbish. I mean, at least they're telling you what they think, and then you can address that particular thing. I think it's a great thing.
I think it's awesome. And Ingrid, thank you for being a guest on FaceTime with Todd Wharton. It was such a pleasure really speaking to you and really diving into, again, one of the most powerful women right now in the world when it comes to animal rights, if not the powerful. And I hope to have you back on the show more and talk about a lot more things, because I think I could talk to you for hours.
Thank you, Todd, very much.
You're welcome. I'll talk to you soon. So Ingrid, first and foremost, thank you for being a guest on FaceTime with Todd Wharton. It was an honor to get to know you as a human being. And honestly, congratulations on all the work you've done since 1970. You put your life, you put your passion into everything that you love, and you're giving back to the world in such a humane way that you're looking to save our planet by saving the animals of the planet, because at the end of the day, they're a part of our world. And I want everybody to understand that even if you agree or disagree, at the end of the day, people like Ingrid are needed, because we need people like her to selflessly go out there and fight the good fight every day for those that can't fight for themselves. And in this case, it's the animals. So kudos to you, Ingrid, for all the work you've done. Keep doing what you're doing and strive to the top. And congratulations on everything. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this interview with Ingrid. I know I have. But until next time, if you're not living a passionate life, then whose life are you living? Take care, guys. I'll see you soon.
He is the most interesting man in the world.
I'm not always on YouTube, but when I am, I make sure I'm subscribed to FaceTime with Todd Wharton.
He's thirsty, my friends.